Well, good morning. Welcome back to Herbie's Garage. Today's going to be my first startup. I haven't tried to start this bike yet. I haven't even put gas in it yet. So I wanted to film everything, this whole process, each step of the way. So you're going to see it start for the first time just like I am. I went to Walmart and I bought me a nice brand new can, filled it full of 93 octane gasoline, and I'm going to be putting that in. I'm going to wheel my bike closer to the garage door and set it up and get it ready for the initial break-in. And while it's running, I'm going to do a check on the charging system, and I want to make sure that it's charging. So we're going to get started with that right away. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put gas in it. Okay, now we're going to pop this cap off. Now we're going to fill it full of some nice clean gasoline. I got exactly 1 gallon in this can. That should be enough to do my first fire and to do my 35-mile break-in. And then once I'm done with all that, I'll take it up and I'll fill it to the top. Okay, now we'll line our cap back up. Snap it down. Now let's see how much fuel 1 gallon gives us on our gas gauge. Looks like it's about half a tank. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. Okay, I'm going to move the bike over and I'm going to get it set up and get it ready to start it up. Okay, we got it all set up and ready to fire up. I've got the fan blowing across it. With it being an air-cooled bike, I'd like to have some airflow going across it. And I have my garage door opened up a little so the fumes can go out. I have my seat removed and I have my gauge put on my battery. My meter is reading 12.75 volts right now. And I'm going to check it and see what the charging voltage is. Okay, I have the fuel petcock in the on position. It's straight down. My kill switch is off. I'm going to put my choke all the way on. Turn it on and let's see what it does. It's going to take a little bit for that fuel to get down to where it needs to go. It's trying. It'll take a little bit to warm up. I have not tried starting it, so I haven't set the idle or anything, so I don't know what it's going to idle at. I want to let it warm up a little bit. We got the choke all the way off now. And it's like the idle is a little bit slow. So let's take the idle screw. Just bump it up a little bit. Don't look too bad. Let's turn it up just a little more. The engine sounds really, really good on it. Nice and quiet. The muffler's nice and quiet. I like it. Sounds really good. Charging voltage is really good. It should be between 13.8 or 13.8 and 14.2, somewhere in that range. I'll rev it up and see if it increases. Yeah, it's holding steady right around 14 volts. That's good. We're idling, it's kind of going between 1,000 and 1,500, so we're about 1,250, 1,300 probably. I may have to turn it down just a little bit, but I like it idling up just a little like that so that I could get my first heat cycle in. I'm going to run this through 2 heat cycles, and I'm going to let it run idling. And you see I have my bike upright on the stand. You want it sitting upright. You don't want it laying on the, sitting on the kickstand off to the side like that, laying sideways. You want that engine to be nice and level so that the oil is up level across during these heat cycles. Boy, that headlight is bright. Wow. See what the brights look like. Oh yeah. Looks good. Passing light. Emergency signals. Flashers. Kind of hard to see with all the lights on and everything, but I wanted to have both sets of flashers on mine because I'll be riding mine on the road a lot, and I do not want anybody to pull out in front of me. So the more visibility I have, the better off I am, I think. I don't know if you can tell, but you probably can if you have one of these bikes. I moved my turn signals. They were up here on the handlebars. I didn't really like the looks of those. I didn't like it because it kind of interfered with everything when I tried to move my controls down, because I like them down. It was hitting on the bracket for the turn signal. Didn't like that. So I like the looks of them down here. I bought a clamp that goes around the fork. As you can see right here, I put my turn signals into that. I think they look pretty good. That's the front. And there's the rear. So the running lights are working. Let's hit the brake light. Boy, the brakes are bright. Wow. My initial impression of this bike is I'm very impressed. You know, this is my second life in Lifan, or however you pronounce it. And I am really impressed with the build quality and with the overall quality of the bike itself. See, I'm idling at 14.78. So it's charging really nice. Turn those off. As you can see, it's idling just a little bit high, so that's okay. I can feel the engine warming up. Out of 14.12. It's got a healthy charging system and a healthy battery. You can see it's got a license plate light underneath of it. A license plate to go here. And I did get my bike registered. And I've got the plates for it. You can see here, registration plates. So I'll be able to hit the road as soon as I go through my heat cycles and drain the oil. So that's what my plan is. I'm going to run it through 2 heat cycles, and then I'm going to drop the oil out of it and put fresh oil in it, and then I'm going to go for my 35-mile break-in. Listen how smooth that engine sounds. Sounds really good. Okay, I'm going to let it do its thing, and when I get back to you, I'll be dropping the oil and putting fresh oil in it. Okay, the second heat cycle is complete. The engine's still a little bit warm, but the oil will flow out really nice with it being a little bit warm. You don't want to over torque it when you put it back in, because you don't want to mess the threads up if the engine's still warm. You really need to let it cool down before you tighten the plug back up. Here's the drain plug right here. It's a 17 millimeter. And it's got a crush washer on it, and yes, you can reuse it, at least on the first time. Let me get at a better angle so I don't get oil all over me. Don't know how long this drain plug is, so try not to make a big mess or drop it in the pan. There we go. Clean it off. That oil still looks really good. I don't see any particles in it. Or anything. We'll let that sit there and drain out. Okay, that's just about stopped draining. We're going to change the oil again after the 35 miles anyway. So let's put the drain plug back in, reusing the crush washer that came with it. And we're just going to snug this down. Don't get crazy on the torque on it. That's good enough. And if you like my drain pan, you can make one just out of a 5-gallon bucket. Cut it down to where it'll fit under the bike. I have this mainly for changing antifreeze in my Gold Wing or anything really, but it really comes in handy. Easy to use. Okay, now we need to fill it up with oil. And this is the oil that I'm going to be using. You can use whatever oil that you want to use that's good for a wet clutch application. If you look at the back of this, it shows on here that it is JASO DH2 JASO MA/MA2. That's the important thing. It has to be JASO MA/MA2 certified for wet clutch application. And I've used this oil in my motorcycles for a lot of years. But if you feel more comfortable using a specific motorcycle oil, then by all means go ahead. But I'm going to put about a quart in this or so, keeping an eye on the sight glass. Gonna get me a light in there so that I can see the sight glass a little better. I don't know what it is, there's just something satisfying about putting good, clean, fresh oil in your motorcycle. Okay, that's coming up. It's about at the low mark. Just a little more. A little more. Don't want to overfill it. Just try to get it up to that high mark. I'm getting close. Just a touch more. There we go, that's perfect. So then we'll take our cap and put it back on. Wipe it all down. Make it look like a professional's been here. Okay, that completes the oil change. Well, that's it for the Venom SS3 initial break-in procedure. We did 2 idling warm-ups and got the engine up to operating temperature, let it cool down, did a second one, let the engine get up to idle operating temperature, and then shut it down, and then let it cool back down again, and we changed the oil. So now it's got good fresh oil in it. It's ready for my 35-mile break-in procedure, and on my next video I'm going to grab my helmet, my GoPro. I'm going to take you along with me, and we're going to do that 35-mile ride together. So don't miss that one. So I appreciate you watching. Consider subscribing to my channel. I'm going to have a lot more content on this bike. There's a lot of things I have in mind that I want to do to it and with it. And so far my initial impression with this bike is really good. I like it. I can't wait to get it out on the road and ride it. I'm legal, I got the plates and the insurance, so I'm good to go. So I'm looking forward to the ride. Thanks for watching.